Alright guys, I'm getting ready to put mower blades on my ZD 1211. It does not mow very well. It never has. The 1021 I had with the same ACS deck, it did not mow very well either. And I'm getting ready, by suggestion of one of my viewers, I'm getting ready to put an Oregon 91 144 on this mower. He claimed, his name's Dwight, he claimed that this right here was the best mower blade that he could find to make the ACS mowing deck mow anything close to the old Pro deck. The old Pro deck that was on these mowing decks, they mowed great. The decks were a little deeper, I believe, and they had different blades. They didn't have a baffle, or they had a whole lot different baffle. And they mowed just fine. These decks right here, they streak, they leave lots of stringers. They will not mow wet grass. They clog up when you get into wet grass. It's just, I mean, it's just a constant battle. If you have the baffle in this deck when you're trying to mow wet grass, it just clogs it up just faster than a jackrabbit. I mean, it's ridiculous. I would have to, my yard takes 2 hours to mow it. My yard's out here, you know, my truck's in the way, but it goes all the way down to the road there. It takes about 2 hours and 15 minutes for me to mow it. And with the deck in, if the grass was a little bit damp, and I know some of y'all say, oh, don't mow when the grass is wet. Well, where I live, if you tried to wait till the grass was dry, I mean, this year's been dry, so it ain't been too bad, but typically, a typical year up here in the mountains, it is wet. I don't care when you mow it, it's wet. It rains, thunderstorms every other day. I mean, I work long hours. I'm always either mowing late in the evening, early in the morning. You know, it's not, my old mower did fine with it, let's put it that way. It just needed more power, but my old mower, it done fine with the wet conditions. This mower, not so much. I would have to clean the deck out within that 2 hours I'm mowing. I have to clean the deck out once, absolutely once, sometimes twice. And I mean, it would be a dangest pile of grass you ever seen up under that thing. And it just, I could take my dad's ZD 331, it's a 72-inch deck, mow the same grass, look under there, and there'd be barely anything stuck under it. So, anyway, I'm going to put these blades on and go from there. Alright, before I put these blades on, I'm going to show you what I did under here. And I hope it's bright enough. There's a baffle right here. And this baffle, you can take it out and get pretty good results, but you'll have a whole lot of sticking over here in this corner right here. Because if you take the baffle out, this radius is gone. So you'll have a lot of build up right here in this corner, and you'll have a lot of build up right here. So what I did, I took the baffle, and this baffle used to come and go right down in between these blades, about right here. And to me, what was happening was, is this blade would come around and it would force the grass to go this way back into the deck, and it would recirculate, and it would build up right in here, and under this blade it would build up terrible. It would build up so bad eventually the mower would just lug down, and then it would blow a big old wad out of it. So I took the baffle out to begin with, and that worked good except for the buildup. So what I did is I ended up putting the baffle back, but I cut that radius out, and you can see right here, I put a straight piece of steel. I took that bend out of it and I put a straight piece in, and then I welded it back right there. So that took that wee-wah in it right here between these blades out, and it just made it straight so the air can just go straight on out the deck. Well, now I don't have all this buildup problem. It's actually pretty clean in the mowing where it throws the grass out right here. It's actually very clean for this mower. There's some built up right here, and there's some built up back behind the blades. I'm gonna knock that out when I put these blades on. But I don't know why, but these blades, they just don't mow good. And you know, I'll get them up there and do a side-by-side comparison here in a minute when I get them off. All right, so here's the stock blades that come on this mower, and here is the 91 144s. There's the difference. There is the biggest thing that I see. There's two things that are different about these blades, and I don't know what it is that would make these mow better. But one is these blades are thicker, which is good for reliability, but I don't know that that's good for cutting, making a good sharp cutting edge. The cutting edge is really tall on this one, really long, and this one doesn't have to be so long because the blade's a little thinner. Now that might, you know, I'm sure this blade probably won't last as long as this blade, but this blade just cuts terrible. Don't know how this blade cuts yet, but I've been told it cuts a whole lot better. This is actually a replacement for a Cub Cadet. This hole in this blade is nowhere near this big when you purchase these blades. I had a machinist cut these holes out to the proper size. 1 5/16 is what's in the stock blade. The other major thing that I see that's different here is this wing on this blade right here. This one right here is on this blade at a weird angle. Look how it starts here and goes across like this, and it's actually like it's scooping the grass inward, and instead of throwing outward, it's like it wants to hold the grass from going off the end of the blade, and that's not good. I mean, this right here, this one goes straight with the blade. When it hits the grass will go straight on off the blade. This looks like it's going to try to scoop the grass and keep the grass with the blade. Well, that's not what you want. If you're trying to, and some people say, well, they were trying to make a mulching deck. No, Kubota was not trying to make a mulching deck with its deck. The ACS is supposed to be aerodynamic cutting system, and the brochure says it's supposed to be 27% more efficient in moving the grass out of the deck, so the deck doesn't consume as much power as the old Pro deck. Well, I'll tell you, once the deck gets clogged up, it takes a whole lot more power to run it than any Pro deck ever did. So it doesn't work. It's not effective in my grass. It may be effective somewhere, but it don't work in my grass. So that's the difference in these blades that I can see by eye. I'm going to go ahead and stick them on and start using them and see if I can tell any performance, or see if it leaves as many stringers, see if it does a better mowing job. That's what I'm after. So let's go ahead and put them on here. Well, another thing I don't like about this deck is when you take the blade off, all this stuff, when you have the mower in this position, if you put the take the mower off the machine and lean it up against a table or something, it don't do this. But if you try to take the blades off like this, which I'm sure most people do to keep from having to remove the deck, you end up, this piece falls off. This piece is inside of it. This is the piece that fits into the seal right here. Well, all this falls off of it, and you got to try to get it all back together without getting dirt in the seal. And then we get the blade on there, maybe someday, some way. Got enough hands to put that together and put this back together, and apparently they cut the right hole size in my blade because it fit right on there. Good job. And doesn't have any slop. So there we go. I get my trusty snap-on, my lime green snap-on air gun. Yes, I don't have an impact socket at my house. And that's all you need. On to the next. I'm going to repeat this procedure 3 more times, and then we'll go try this thing out. All right, the grass here at my house is still really short, even though it was a week since I mowed it. It's been so dry, it just hadn't grown back. Normally I have to mow this yard every week, but I can already tell a difference. Just driving it in the driveway, running it, I just turned it on, revved it up, and drove around the driveway. I drove out in the yard in a few places, but the grass, it just barely trimmed the grass off. I can tell a difference in the driveway because there's little gravels on my driveway in places. It actually picks them up now and throws the gravel, which I know that's dangerous and not good in a way, but before, the blades that were on it, you could put the deck all the way down and stop over gravels, and it would never pick up a gravel and throw it, which was telling me that it had no suction at all, which no suction equals poor mowing performance, in my opinion. You got to have some suction to lift the grass as it goes over it, so it cuts all the grass even, and then once the mower goes on by, the grass can do whatever it wants to do. But when it's being mowed, it needs that lift, so it gets up into the blades. All the grass gets up into the blades, so it cuts all of them evenly. If it doesn't have that lift, in my opinion, I could be wrong, but in my opinion, if it doesn't have that lift, all the blades of grass aren't going to be cut evenly. The grass that's sticking up, it's going to get cut. Grass that's bent over, it may just hit it and knock it down, and then it'll stand right back up. That's where I think I'm getting stringers at. It's because of no suction. So anyway, I can tell there is more suction. I'm going to go find some grass to mow maybe tomorrow, but I'm going to put it in the video how it does here. So that's what you'll be seeing next.